Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Revolution Within podcast with Dana. I am Dana, your host. Thank you for watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcasts. Welcome, welcome. You may be wondering what we are talking about. I cover a lot of the mindset work that we need in order to stay motivated in the most difficult times of creation, of writing something, of creating a business, whatever your creation is. I'm an editor and writer, so that is my primary focus. And I work with neurodivergent creatives. You have I like to call it neurospicy. It means that you have ADHD or you're on the autism spectrum or something of that ilk. And my focus is to help people with neurodivergencies work their way through the overwhelming emotions that come with creative process, and the rejection part of things, because we have a lot of rejection when it comes to being creators, when it comes to putting ourselves out there. But before I forget, you can find me at my website, which is revolution-within.com. My email address is Dana, Dana, at revolution-within.com. I am on Instagram at Dana WI Writes, DanaWiWrites, and I have that same handle on Substack. I'm very easy to find. There's lots of places all over the internet. This week we are going to talk about something that is referred to as the messy middle. It's the period of frustration between the time when your excitement about starting something new kind of wanes and you get in the thick of the process of bringing it to fruition, of whether it be working on a book or starting a business or whatever. There is a middle part, and this is the time when most people stop trying and give up because it can be such a struggle. I personally believe language matters, and I try not to use, negative words like that often, but struggle is part of life. It's actually part of the process of building your resiliency in your business or writing your book or whatever you're creating. The struggle is showing you that you can either let an obstacle break you, or you can let it mold you into something higher, take you into a higher elevation. Or you can just bypass it. I mean, there are times when we start struggling with things that we don't even really need to struggle with. We are just so used to banging our heads against the wall when we don't immediately get the result that we expect or think that we deserve to get right away. And that comes from when we really believe in what we're doing or we know what we're doing. When we're really certain on our abilities and what we have to offer, I think the main frustration comes from when we perceive rejection. We're like, why would you reject me? I really know what I'm doing here. I'm capable, I'm competent, I'm talented, and we get frustrated because why on earth wouldn't people understand that can I can move mountains. I'm a miracle worker, all the things. And there's quite a famous example. Remember the Beatles were passed on by like 6 or 7 labels before. Yeah, everyone goes through this. We don't see this anymore. Not that we ever really saw it before the internet, but with the advent of social media, I think that there's a lot of things getting misconstrued. There are all of these accounts, and there's this impression that people have just created this like and you can do it too. Well, what they don't tell you is all of the time before that they were struggling and working at it and working at it, and the years it took before the culmination point of them going in the upward motion. That upward motion takes time and effort and lots of adjustments and really studying what your target audience wants. That's the thing. You can present yourself as this, but if your target audience doesn't want you, they don't really care about you. They care about what you can do for them. I think the most important thing to remember is that life is a journey. And yeah, I know it's trite, but it's true. And everything that comes to us, we can either muddle around in our own frustration and why, and or we can process those feelings, because just denying the feelings of frustration and confusion and disappointment and things like that, just like not experiencing them, not processing them, that lands you just in more and more frustration, because you need to get those things out of your body. How? You write about them, you talk about them into your notes, you talk about them with a friend, you just express them. Once they're out of your body, if they keep coming back, if the thought comes back to the station, keep going back, just keep going back. It's a process. It's something that it's a practice. Everything's a practice. Everything is a skill that you can learn. Every single thing. Patience is a skill that you can learn. I heard the words, "You are so patient," the other day. And anyone who knows me from when I was a child or even a young adult would be flabbergasted to hear those words spoken about me. I have practiced becoming a patient person, and there are still feelings around it. There are still moments where I just want what I want when I want it. And there are all these like mindset manifestation things that are like, well, if you just want it bad enough, that's not really true. You actually have to do work inside you to change, to shift your mindset, to believe that, and you have to give it up. You have to like give it up to the universe and say, whatever is good, better, and best for me. That is what, because things don't manifest exactly the way that we expect them to. I've manifested amazing things in my life, and none of it turned out the way that I expected it to. But there's still a lot of greatness in my life. I have a lot of gratitude for the things in my life. And I still experience a lot of frustrations. You experience frustration in your business because you're like, this is what I'm meant to do. This is what I want. Why isn't anybody seeing it? Why isn't this working? It is working. It is. If you stop, if you give up because you don't think it's working, if you work at something for 6 months and like nothing moves, and then you're like, fuck this, and you walk away from it, how do you know that it would have only taken another couple of days or another couple of weeks? That's resiliency. That's what it takes to reach those upper echelons in any pursuit. So, what can you do? What can you do when you start really feeling those frustrations and that aggravation of like, everything, I'm doing all the things and nothing's working? That's a thought. The first thing that you can do is understand that that thought that you just had, nothing's working, is not a fact. It's a thought. It is something that you're telling yourself in those moments. redirect. Look for what is working. Look for the things that are happening, no matter how small. That's where the gold is. That's what keeps you going. Because if you're not finding things, if you're not looking for things that are progress, that can be celebrated, that show you that your effort is moving forward, no matter how small. If you're not looking for those things, you're way more likely to just throw in the towel and say, I can't do this. So that's what you do. You look at the things, you look for the things that are showing your forward progress. And if you want any help with that, reach out to me. I'm really good at finding those things for other people. I'm better at finding it for other people than I am for myself most of the time, but I practice it for myself as well. And that's why I'm still doing this. That's what has taken me through this whole process of figuring out exactly what I'm here to do, what I'm here to I'm working with neurodivergent creators. That's where I've landed because that's what I do and what I do best. I can help you get that nothing's working table flipping reaction and shift it toward understanding that that is a very normal reaction and it's something that you can approach with compassion and understanding rather than being frustrated with yourself for having that, because that's something that I've done a lot, like banging my head on the wall, like, why am I going through this again? Why? I get frustrated with my own frustration. I get frustrated with my own ADHD. I get frustrated with my own fountain of ideas that come in, flood in all at once, and then get stuck at the top of the bottleneck. And that's the way I'm built. It's the way I'm made. Nothing wrong with it. Actually, it's pretty great because I always have creativity going. And if I'm overwhelmed and I get stuck at that bottleneck, I step back. I step back. I breathe. I relax. I don't force it. I tried to force things for a long time and it got me nowhere. If you're forcing yourself or you're expecting yourself to do all of these great things in a very short period of time, then you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself and you're actually working against yourself. So my suggestion is to slow down. When you start feeling that frustration and that anxiety or anger or rage or whatever word you want to use for that feeling, I say this on every episode, slow down and breathe. What do I need right now? That's how you process the feelings. And then after you've processed the feelings through breathing, through refocusing that energy into calming your nervous system, that's when you say, what evidence do I have that I am making progress? And that's it. Look for it. Write it down. Do it every day if you have to. I do. I look at it every day. That's what keeps me going. And you keep going. You keep going. You keep showing yourself grace and you keep showing up for yourself, then you'll get there. It may take a lot longer than you want it to, but it won't take any longer than it needs to. Because often these processes are taking as long as they take because we need to learn what we need to learn in order to reach the next level. Because if you reach the next level before you're prepared, before you have the resiliency, then you lose it. Ask me how I know. So That's what I'll leave you with. If you enjoy this, if you got something from this, I will ask you kindly to share it with someone you think it may resonate with. And thanks for listening or watching on YouTube. I'm Dana. You can find me at revolution-within.com. That is my website. I am on Instagram at Dana W.I. Writes, DANAWIWRITES. And I'm on Substack at that same handle. If you want to start writing your book, now you know where to find me. I'm here to help you out. I'm here. I can edit it and I can walk you through the process all the way up to the moment that you're ready to publish. Anyway, thanks for listening. I really appreciate all of your support. Take care, and remember, all will be well.